Yeah, I think this is a good place to call it. I made lots of progress. Learnt Graven Ash's backstory. Oh, stretch. Ugh. Took Duskwatch for the Disfavored. Went to Tunon's court and got our main mission for the rest of the game, I suspect. Right. Pleasure to see you again. Let's see what you have. Let's see what you have. No one uses two-handers. Don't care about any of these. I know these items are actually probably pretty good, but I'm selling a lot of them because personally, I don't think normal is actually that difficult that I need them. Which is a little bit sad to say, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It's probably something that I'm like, think, oh, it's useless, none of these items are important, but I suspect that if I had been playing on a harder difficulty, it would probably be more prudent.
If you weren't playing on a coward, you would probably adorable.
This is useless too. Hmm, 8 more meters of range, but worse in every other way. No, thank you. One point, 0.1 second to recovery, less to dodge, more to parry and endurance. Better recovery, worse parry and worse endurance. Okay, let's get you a Stone Tower shield for Barrick. I think that would be good. Aha, there's a good javelin. 4 to armor penetration, slower, slightly better. Ah, damn it! Even that's not as good as I'd like it to be. I feel like this is, unfortunately, this is another one of those games where it's like most of the. Oh, Binding Oath looks very good though. These Oathbound lovers are very good. Okay, this has a bonus. Lightweight is minus 10% recovery. My armor gives me 20% bonus damage on bleeding. Okay. That's why my armor is so good, because there's that little extra thingamadoo. Definitely gets that kind of armor for you. Why not? We don't spend that much money, so let's get you the Oathbound members. You're not gonna like wearing this stuff, but it's better than your stuff, so tough shit. Yeah, let's report back to Graven Ash, then we'll be done. Let's see what our next move is. So we know that Graven Ash's daughter's probably alive, and we know that there might be an artifact in the Rust Canyons that Captain Mattias is searching for to get inside Sentinel Stand. Let's see. Fatebinder, you return. Through his congenial smile, you just barely detect that Ash is wincing. Interesting. Is something wrong? Nothing I can't handle. This war takes a toll on everyone it touches, but in my case, the price can be heavier than most. He rises to full height and dismisses your concerns with an authoritative shrug of his shoulder. But never mind that. You didn't come to hear an old man's aching joints. We have a realm to subjugate and people to break under the disfavored banner. What is it you require? Do you ever wish you had remained defiant to Kairos? What? What is that? Fatebinder, I hope I didn't just hear you utter those words. You're walking a fine line asking the Archon these sorts of questions, Fatebinder. I would take care with how you address the General in the future.
General...
Only ask out of curiosity. And you never stop to consider that your questioning tongue could lead you astray, I have had officers flogged for less. The educator will not thank me for punishing your curiosity, so I'll spare you this once. I have never second-guessed my decision. Had I remained defiant, my beloved Northerners would have faced execution, and by my own hand I would have followed them to the grave. The North fell to Kairos. I mourned for the old ways, even as I served the Conqueror's role. But over time we rose to become greater than a short-sighted warlord could ever dream. The next time you question my loyalty, remember what I have done in the name of army and country. I am the Archon of War. If you speak an expert in backstabbing, perhaps you'd be better served in the voice in the Rats Company. I hope we understand. I apologize. Don't even bother posturing for this one. He's hundreds of years old. We're just gnats swirling around his head. He doesn't care. My search for Amelia takes me to the Rust Canyons. I am pleased to hear of your progress. Rust Canyon was once a verdant pass for travelers and one of many choke points on the way to Sentinel Stand. Now it's merely a garbage heap infested by rebellion. The Unbroken are seeking artifacts. That does make sense. With no means to kill Stratus Herodin from outside a Sentinel Stand, the only chance of breaching the Wind Wall would be through an artifact's power. The trouble is, the number of artifacts scattered about the realm is anyone's guess, and I couldn't tell you which of them could get the job done. If these rebels are committed to the task, it's possible they know something more. I believe it was the custom of each of the regents to travel with some artifact in their possession. With all but one of their polluted bloodline killed during the conquest, the Unbroken are likely seeking a corpse among thousands. A fool's errand, but not an ignoble one. Their leader's name is Mattias. Mattias. I had not come across his name. Whatever he calls himself, this upstart should be killed to set an example for his would-be army. But should you come across him, expect his head to topple. I confirmed that Amelia's unit was taken by Stratus Herodin's troops. Damn that corpse inbred of a regent. Corrupt inbred of a regent, not corpse inbred. I was thinking that's a weird sentence. If his death were not required to end the Edict of Storms, I would take pleasure in breaking him on the rack myself. Charming. I was devastated when Amelia's cohort vanished. A father's dread is not so different from a general's, and in my case I am twice cursed to suffer the pain of her absence. I still feel her presence, has grown stronger even. So I know that she lives, but I fear for her safety all the same. I received word that my disfavor had cleared a path to Rust Canyon, as should prevent any rebels from entering or leaving the area. You should make contact with Theodore, the lieutenant in charge of the attack. He will guide him. He'll guide you, though. Oh, he has 4 children: Ashlyn, Priam, Amelia, and Brennix. My days on Tarata span many more than any human lifetime, and on this journey I have learned much. It must be said that I have also grown stubborn. I believe that matters must be handled a particular way, and see no reason to waver in those beliefs, that they are the product of my experience. Brennix, youngest and most beloved. A soldier, served his countrymen. Dark jokes. Oh damn, he died at Vendrian's well. Sad. He has died by some force I cannot understand. I would not speak of this further. Ashelin? My first and proudest accomplishment. What strength she had. During the conquest of the Northern Empire, she was slain by Blood Echo, the madman who once laid claim to the title of Archon of War. I would later cut his head from his shoulders with Ashelin's broken sword. He continued to scream for minutes after the deed was done. Priam. Son born to life I enjoyed before as an Archon. He fell to a wasting illness caused by the pox, the Archon of Ruin. Oh, interesting. Archons killed his first son and daughter. Sorry, his first 2 sons. No, son and daughter. My bad.
Well, cringe.
Tell me of Amelia. She had her father's stubborn persistence. She is an excellent fighter, though more brazen and eager to test herself on the fields of battle. I have objected to the disposition in the past, but it seems as integral to her being as the very breath she draws. It seems as integral to her being as the very breath she draws. Amelia. She's been missing from the Legion since the fighting escalated in Stalwart. After her advanced detachment made their way into the depths of enemy territory, we lost contact. I fear for her, Fatebinder. I fear for her daily. And not knowing has turned this war into a nightmare. Wish the punctuation was slightly more clear. Or maybe it's my reading that's so bad. Oh well. Farewell. I think choosing Graven Ash over the Voices in the Rat was the right choice, that's for sure.
I think you should have chosen neither.
Was there a way to have done that?
Oh yeah, you just told them to fuck off after you storm the tower.
Oh yeah. That would be siding with the Vengeance Guard, I assume it.
No, siding with the Vengeance Guard is separate from not siding with either of them.
Ah, I see.
You can't really side with the Vendrian's Guard after you kill all the Vendrian's Guard.
Whoops.
Oopsie daisy.
It just felt weird. I don't know why. To be honest, I would have liked to side with the Vengeance Guard, but I'm kind of role playing it in the sense of like. Excuse me. If it makes sense, what I'm doing is like I'm role playing it from the perspective of someone who is you know, been in the system for a long while, so doesn't expect something like the Vengeance Guard to do well, so is trying to get them to stand down, but it's not working.
Ah, yes, you're role playing as a coward.
Yeah. That's not fair. I try and do as much good as possible.
As long as it doesn't put you at significant risk.
It's not that I would mind being at risk, it's just that I don't know, I don't have any reason to think this will work considering Kairos owns the whole planet. Sorry, the whole continent.
And why is that?
It's not because of me, that's for sure.
It is. You helped significantly in the conquest.
Couldn't help. I did my best during the conquest.
Yeah, exactly. That's why it worked.
Damn it.
You did it.
I
Good
tried to be
job.
nice to everyone I met. Except for those mages, I think I beheaded them.
No, you had them executed.
Oh well. At the end of the road, a small child crouches next to an abandoned wagon, rummaging through its contents. From afar she resembles a bedraggled urchin, smirking face lined with dirt, her tunic torn and thoroughly stained. She spots your approach and lets out a small yelp, sprinting off into a copse of trees and vanishing. You follow the child as she weaves.
Have the child executed.
No. Weaves between the trees until the forest gives way to open fields of a small farmstead empty from the last harvest. The girl leads you across the grounds, past 2 empty houses and a row of clay beehives, racing into an open bar. A clutch of children are huddled in barn. I said barn. A clutch of children huddled in the rear of it, trembling as you approach. 6 in all, gaunt faces, tired eyes shared among them all. One boy drops a small knife as you approach, letting it vanish within the folds of straw at his feet. They swear they are alone, claiming to be orphans from a massacred village. They fled during the fighting when she stood the swampstead. Its owners, they claim, slain by Kairos' forces. The barn is full of harvested rye and a few star jars of honey. No doubt the reasons why these children are still alive. What about the empty cart on the road? Some of the children exchange concerned glances before the little girl you trailed speaks up. Her voice wavers and she blurts out a stammering explanation. The cart was likely used by a travelling merchant and abandoned once soldiers clashed in the nearby area. Her eyes flicked to the ground for a brief moment, long enough for you to follow its gaze to a leather boot barely visible between tight bundles of stranding straw. You push them aside and kick aside the bundles, revealing the corpse of a middle-aged man with multiple puncture wounds in the neck and back. Uh-oh. The children gasp at the revelation. Some begin to cry. The young girl pleads innocence, claiming the man discovered the farm and attacked her, pinning her on the straw before her friends returned and stabbed her to death. She begs you to believe her. Burn down the farmstead. So definitely killed by these children, so I'm not gonna... Send them to train as spies for Tunon's court. Send them to work for the disfavored. Leave the children food and rings. We're not gonna let them work for the disfavored, because that's just gonna mean slavery. How about Tunon's court? For mere children, the scamps are tenacious and clever, a requirement for survival out here alone, and may be of use in Tunon's court. Left to their own devices, they will almost certainly die in time. Yay, the game actually wrote the reasoning I was doing it for exactly. You pen a declaration. The children are to be evaluated by the court's fate binders for possible service. Should they be found lacking, assigned to local tradesmen as best suits the needs of the city. Good.
Yay! Go.
Yay, did something good for once.
You did it. You did a good thing. Took you long enough.
Wait, that was a joke. I've done tons of good things.
Yeah.
The journey won't be easy, you caution, but it's necessary if they want to survive past the next season. The young girl takes the parchment and thanks you, though the rest of the children look unsure of the matter. You collect some grain and honey for yourself and next to the well, I didn't want to do that, but fine. Leaving them to complain. I mean, they're not gonna be able to carry all of it. I suppose I might as well drink
My
some.
grain and honey now. Try hard, so.
I don't work for free.
Of course you don't.
Alright, I'm gonna go talk to Kills in Shadow. Beast Woman swats on her haunches, back bowed and face tilted forward as she meticulously grooms between the long, callous fingers of one paw. A mauve tongue laves blood from her glistening claws. She glances up a jerky, startled moment at your approach. No fear in her, only reaction, instinct. Only readiness to strike.
Fate Binder wants Beast Woman?
Fatebinder wants you to bathe.
Impossible.
Ooh! No, my mic fell off. Have you had any good hunts?
Good, yep. And many more than 5. Waded up deep, murky stream near disfavored camp. Paw pawed in mud of bank, but did not leave tracks. Crept low and quiet to tent flap, scenting with tongue. Caught ironclads and dragged, squirming like hurt rabbits, into cold black depths of river. Disfavored cannot swim like Beast Woman, only can sink.
Fatebinder wants you to bathe.
I'm bathing right now.
Don't simply drag your fetid tongue over another matted patch of fur. Stand under a waterfall or kneel in a stream. The crying statue in Edgering Ruins comes to mind.
Is washing with waterfall how packmate became trapped in iron? Did not think to shed iron shell first.
She runs her tongue over her fangs and mumbles a satisfied purr.
Should let Beast Woman pry shell from ironclad. Then Kills in Shadow can play with disfavored inside. Yep.
She strategizes how best to deal with their enemies and allies. Well,
Fatebinder has many allies. More enemies. Which do Fatebinder and Kills in Shadow hunt today?
tell me about the Beastman tribes.
Nope.
Oh, fair enough.
What now does Fatebinder wish to yip about?
Let's play a game, I guess.
Like playing with prey, or with pack. We play sometimes with stone whelps. Rut, mate, slaughter.
I'm always down for a game. Unless it involves throwing and catching.
Is easy. Packmate chooses one of each. Rut, mate, slaughter. If prey is chosen, pack joins ensuing hunt. If packmate is chosen and both agree to game, then pack gets to watch.
Rut, mate, slaughter, eh? Well, does it have to be 3 different people? I rutted with my old gang boss, Fine Ass. Mated him for a time, and then I killed him. Of all my days running with the chorus, I think I enjoyed asking the most. Oh, I get it. Okay. I'd rut Barrack, since Kairos' forces need a little pillage and rape in
This is
return.
a very weird conversation.
I'd mate with Verse, mostly to take half of whatever land she's going to someday conquer. Obviously, I'd kill Lantry. Who wouldn't?
What? I'm old enough to be everyone's father. This is disgusting.
Barrick looks at you and simply shakes his head in horror and
How
disbelief.
could Beast Woman choose any other? Would Rut ebb good and hot fast? Would mate Alpha and would slaughter, carve back to pieces, slowly, savoring while slicing.
Yeah, I can see why
flesh
Barrick
from
doesn't like
neck.
her. I also
Yep,
don't
yep.
care for it. God, why did I let you talk me into bringing her?
Wait, what?
This woman sits back on her haunches, blah blah blah. Fake mind has good musk.
Fatebinder has good musk. Smells of bloodlust, of predator, of savage strong alpha. It's good to ask Beast Woman for advice. Even strong alpha needs cunning of bulwark at side.
What do you think of others? Her red eyes darken with cunning as she shifts her stance, hunkering low as if to spring an attack, but rather than strike, she rakes clawed fingers through her thick mane, assessing.
Are brazen, callow, are not as savage fast keen as Beast Woman, but are not weak. Fatebinder whelped good, tough pack. Beast Woman does not like disfavored, but Kills in Shadow likes Barrack. Will not kill human yet. Want to hunt good and long, make bleed, scream, ride, mangle before kill. Human is tough like stone wall. Is hidden behind iron's shadow where Beast Woman cannot smell or scout weakness, but is noisy like crashing boar.
This is the first time since Stalwart that I've felt vulnerable. I don't fear swords or spears, but this beast is
Yeah.
something different.
She's pretty creepy. What are your thoughts on Verse?
Good hunter, reeks of blood, dirt, death. Is savage swift like
That's a higher compliment to the beast than to me, but I appreciate the thought.
Ebb?
human brood mother. Mystic. Is strong.
First time I've been called a brood mother. Though it's not wholly inaccurate. Twins count as a brood of 2, right? Well, I'm mostly certain you meant that as a compliment, so thank you.
Lead conversation.
That's one.
Beast Woman gets to play fight with Alpha.
I guess so. She perks up, salivating and snarling happily. She rises on hind legs and swipes several practice swings to limber up, splaying her dark claws wide and pinch you with an eager, blood-thrilling... Ah! Before you can step even a single foot forward, the beast woman surges for you without warning, without waiting, tackling you hard above the waist. The force of her weight slams into you, her muscled shoulder rammed into your gut, and you both tumble for the ground. I'm gonna headbutt her. Hands gripping her hairy shoulders to steady yourself, you ram your forehead as hard as you can into her swarthy snout. Bone crunches audibly and Kills in Shadow howls, rearing back in blood as sprays down the face of her chin and throat. She gnashes her red-tinged fangs, painted and furious and looking for a moment as she may very well tear your throat out, but she licks the blood coating her lips and grins at you dangerously. Beast Woman likes fighting with Alpha. She purrs and carefully, sensually crawls back from... I'm getting out of it. Fine, I'll know more about you.
Am best hunter, am last of tribe. Tribe who killed King Vipers, Alarion, and Thorn Stags extinct. Am Alpha. What else does Alpha to Kills and Shadow long to know?
How'd you get your name?
Best hunter is clever hunter. Stalk slow and soft. Pat, pat, pat. Silent. Strikes. Fast, fast, fast. Kills without hesitation.
The Stonestalkers of Azure nearly tripled in population during a period of domestication and forced labor in service of the farmers and ranchers of the realm. Like all beasts, the Stonestalkers were born wild and yearned to range free, unfettered by humans within their own homeland. In ancient times, the tribe was known as the Meadowkins. They were denied a name during the centuries of enslavement. The turmoil created by Kairos' invasion of the Tears and conquest of Azure, the beasts rebelled and won their freedom. Drawn to the enigmatic presence of the Cairn, Archon of Stone, the beasts took the name Stonestalker as their own. After Cairn's defeat, when Kairos proclaimed the Edict of Stone and Azure, creating the Stone Sea, the Stonestalkers retreated into the wilds. Humans who have since been roached from their territory have been slaughtered. How'd you know with them?
Best hunter is clever. Am not Stonestalker. Lost tribe. Left Haven lands. Migrated east. Was a long, long time.
Could your tribe have been that different? I've run afoul of many a beastman in my day, and I find nothing that distinguishes their savage numbers.
Stay and see. We'll think Kills and Shadow memorable when insides are being ripped, slow, slow dripping from iron-clad shell.
Well, if you're not a Stonestalker, why are we leading a pack of them?
Is true. Am Shadow Hunter from Havenlands, but am last tribe.
She worries, the lip between her fangs and bright, fresh blood bleeds in you.
After tribe was slain, Kills and Shadow loped to Stone Lands, stalking on long hunt for disfavored, but soon became needed by weak whelps, by stone stalkers who had been slaves and had not learned how best to fight.
You seem like a born killer.
Did not kill out of mother's womb. All whelps suckle first, learn later. Beast woman's first blood was in second season after birth.
Tell me about your tribe then. Insufficient reputation. Alright, that's your
Lead
dialogue.
Conversation. Beast woman will follow.
That's your dialogue done, so no one can tell me I didn't.
My Lord Binder, you have something which requires my attention? What can I do for you?
To Barra converse. Have either of you noticed you fight particularly well together?
The thought has crossed my mind from time to time. During the many battles of the Conquest, we found ourselves standing back to back with enemies on all sides on more than one occasion.
Ah, it's so nice to have voiced companions that I don't have to speak for. I don't know if they'll ever do it, but I really wish they had like some kind of, I don't know, like a DLC to just voice everyone in the game. Maybe that's only something I want. Almbic? Wait, Almbic, are you gone again? God damn it. Almabic. Gone again. Wonderful.
The big guy here is as useless as an empty scabbard without his phalanx to keep him alive, but I move fast enough to compensate for it. And it's nice having a living wall of rusted iron I can use for cover.
How do you think this is possible?
I would suggest that our fighting styles complement each other, but they do not. I would suggest that we get along, but we do not. We don't even finish each other's
Sentences? Okay, that was strange. Did you hear that? The next time I catch a whiff of Barrack's meaning, I'm keeping my mouth shut.
I want you two to train together.
Absolutely not. Our fighting styles are incompatible, and any disfavored lieutenant will tell you not to join at the hip soldiers who can't stomach each other.
I'm inclined to agree. If you want to pair up fighters, there has to be some great passion or magnetism between them. We don't have it.
If neither of you is up to the challenge, I guess I won't have to force the matter.
Now see here, Verse's temperament and unpredictable ways are an annoyance, but no challenge is beyond my skill. Verse, we should take some time to face off in the sparring fields. It might even improve our disposition towards one another.
I'd rather watch you devour your armor one shaved off spoonful at a time. But since that isn't going to happen anytime soon, I suppose I'll make an effort.
Nice.
You will work together.
Barrack and Verse have gained a combo ability. Awesome. Arrow Storm. Verse fires several arrows into Barrack's armor. When the last arrow strikes, Barrack roars and the arrows burst out, striking. That's awesome. That's a really good... Considering he aggroes a lot of enemies to get close to them, that's a great ability. And it's once per rest, so...
I like how even in their team attack, they're still attacking each other.
Yeah, I know. It's actually a little nice touch.
Right.
Oh, he seems to sell, Oh. Ooh. It's better, but it's not worth it, because it doesn't have the opportunist, which is really good for me.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, maybe, is it, let's see, 20% bonus damage on bleeding, paralyzed, blah blah blah, etc. enemies. But yeah, I was mentioning it while you were gone by accident, because I didn't know you were gone. Oh, another stretch. Muscles are really stiff today. Jeez. But I mentioned it, I actually really like, the one thing I like is that the companion seems to be... That's the weird thing I've had, is that the companions are voiced. Especially when you're talking about their own conversations or conversations between each other. I'm actually a little bit disappointed that, like, I don't mind that a lot of people aren't voiced in this game. I do wish that the characters that did have voices, that all of their lines were voiced.
I mean, I don't mind, but it's also that it makes sense because voice acting is usually done by the hour, so the less lines you actually have to voice act. So like,
No, I get it as a cost-cutting measure. I just feel like it was a little bit like I don't mind if they don't have voice lines when they're talking to other characters that don't have voices, but like if we're in a conversation with Graven Ash or Tunon, I wish they spoke. The same way I wish that Graven Ash had like voice lines when I was talking to him at camp. That's probably going to be I mean, like, I like the RPG combat, I really like the decisions in writing, and I think the world's pretty neat. Like, I'd say my only real big problem is that the voice acting is a little inconsistent. Like, you can't tell when a line's going to be voiced or when it's going to be just read.
just read it in the voices.
I can't, I don't have that, I'm not that good at reading voices.
In your mind.
In my mind, yeah, I can do it, but still.
Yeah, see?
I mean, I guess it's a niche problem if that's how you view it, but I would have actually had... I like that voice acting, so I wish there was more of it.
I like it because I feel like what it accomplishes is it gives you an idea for what the character's voice is without just giving you a description, which could be interpreted in a bunch of different ways.
Yeah, no, I do like that I can get a sense for their voices, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, hey, have every character in the game voice. Like, they obviously didn't have a budget for, like a New Vegas type budget or anything, but... I don't know, there was definitely times where I thought, I wish that line was voiced. Like lines between Graven Ash and Barrack and stuff like that. I was like, I wish the banter was recorded. Because they all have very good voice acting.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's more of a budgetary problem than anything, so I wouldn't even necessarily hold it against the game's marks, because it's criticizing it for like, hey, why didn't you have more money to put this in? But at the same time, it's like, I wish it was. That's pretty much it. So I talked to the new companion, Killed in Shadow. Still regret letting them on the temple. I should not stand there. You know, I find it hard to believe that people would actually sleep up here. Seems like a very dangerous place to be. So windy, you get very cold. Oh well. I'm gonna save, and I think I'll call it there. Alright, it was 10 hours at the last save, so let's see. Alright, I think that's another 3 hours played of the game, so that's pretty good. Thank you for joining my stream, if you did. I'm not entirely sure how many did it, because I was pretty focused on the game. Oh god, I hope I began streaming. That would have been embarrassing.
You did.
Yes, good.
You know that you were streaming because I told you several times things I could only know by looking at your screen.
Yes, I'm stupid.
I'm stupid. I don't know what
But yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you did, I definitely enjoyed playing through it, and it's just nice to do on stream as a passive thing. So, again, I don't have any consistent schedule for when I'm going to be doing this, but I'll try and upload this to YouTube as soon as possible. Yeet. Why did I say yeet? I never say yeet. I only say yeet because you make me say yeet. Oh, it's still streaming. Fuck.